Hello, everybody, and we welcome you to our final segment here on our 2024 Sooner Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Media Day. I'm Jim Powers, Assistant Commissioner of the Sooner, and we're going to go down to Salem Springs, Arkansas, and visit our great friends down at John Brown, their head coach, and he is the longest tenured coach here in the Sooner Athletic Conference, Jason Beschta, and one of his outstanding players and student athletes, Drew Miller, joining us. And Drew, thanks for the time. Last year didn't end, I think, the way you all wanted it to. I think there were some other expectations there. Has that provided a little bit of motivation for the off-season workouts and as you guys have started in the preseason stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it definitely gives us a lot of confidence. We got a lot of kids back, that'll help us, and then we added a bunch to the team, um, key roles to the team that will hopefully push us to make that tournament next year. We were one win away, and I think that just shows and gives us a bunch of confidence coming into this year.
And talk about your leadership. And I know Coach leans in on you a little bit. Are you a vocal type of leader? Are you a lead by example? Are you kind of a guy that mixes both in there?
Yeah, yeah, no. So I the leadership role is definitely something that was big coming here. I think initially I was a lead by example guy, but when you have some of kind of a younger team, you gotta use your voice. So that's something I've definitely been learning and getting into. But I think both are very important. I've been trying to do both. I have a lot of experience, so I try to give as many pointers and then lead by example as much as I
That's and
can.
Jim, that's another way of saying he's a very long tenured player.
Well, we're going to get into that here to say, but yeah, talk a little bit about Drew and what he's brought to your program, coach, and what he means to you, being that leader, not only on the floor in the locker room, but also in the classroom down there at John Brown.
Yeah, first of all, it's difficult when you bring in a transfer, for anybody, how well are they just going to slide in and fit with your team, with your culture, with what you're trying to do. Um, I mean, Drew's been around. He's been playing. He knows what it takes to succeed at this level. He knows what goes into that, the preparation it takes. Um, and again, having an older guy, it's a lot easier to relate to these guys. That's the fun thing about coaching. Sometimes, the 4-year guys, you get to see that progression, see them grow. And, when they're older, they're juniors, seniors, 5th-year guys, they're just completely different people. And, I talked to Drew's parents about this behind his back. We're trying to get him. How can we get Drew to be, even more of a leader? Because we all see it in him. And he does bring it from day one. He's commanded respect just because of who he is, his consistency to his approach each day, and what he does on the court. I mean, the guys love him, the guys respect him. And now, how can we take that a step further and pull out even more of a voice? Because you got their attention, you've earned that. And he earns it every day. And it's just been great to watch that progression take place for him this year. I think just his confidence in what he has to say and in what he knows and what he wants to communicate has just really risen. And that's just going to make us better and better for it.
And you've got some other, veteran guys coming back, coach, and you've got some, some young guys that are coming in to fill some pretty big shoes for you. What are some of the names we're going to hear throughout the season when we see a stat sheet or we watch one of your games?
There's a lot of guys we're hopeful for, and I think like a lot of coaches, probably this time of year, we're still not 100% sure where all that's going to be, and who's always going to step up. But we do have some really strong returning players, some guys that have had experience in helping us get, again, really close to making the tournament last year. Lucas Gabani down low has been really solid inside. I think coming off of when he was on the all freshman team 2 years ago. I think took a little bit of a dip last year, and he's done some things to put himself in a position to have a really big year for us this year. Got guys like Trey Edding last year, came in after we kind of hit some bumps in the road partway through second semester, that was able to step up for us and play a big role. And he's going to be a sophomore, but he hit 2 game winners for us last year, second semester as well. And he's just a tough as nails kind of player. Josh Stewart has just been solid. He's just really steady for us. I had a really good first half in that last game last year against MacU in the tournament when we lost. And he's able to do so many different things and play so many positions. And we had to utilize him at the 1 through 4 last year and even more at the 1. And he can play it. But I think with what we've added this year, it allows us to move him to more of some natural positions where he can thrive a little bit more. Those are certainly some key pieces for us. And then we've added some really good new guys that we feel like are able to step right in and going to be able to not just contribute right away, but guys we're leaning on to help us take that next step.
And Drew, you've got to absolutely love the system that coach has you guys playing. And I love watching you guys. It's a lot of defense, but then, you guys on the offensive side, it's a lot of just, movement and free play. That way you guys can create a little bit, and that makes it fun for you as a player, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you get the chance to be creative and kind of lean on your own skills and stuff, and on your teammate skills, I mean, it makes it just fun being out there. It's a lot of trust from the coaches, but on the other side, we do a lot of good things with it. So
And it's always good if you're a player to hear from the coach, hey, if you can get a shot off, it's a good shot, and that's kind of where the green light that Drew has earned himself.
And I remember that when I was a coach, when I used to be able to give green lights, but then I would also give the stop sign as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
I understand where you're going with this. Coach, talk a little bit about your non-conference, schedule and some terrific non-conference games. We'll get into the Sooner schedule here in a minute. But you're playing Barclay in probably one of the most famous games I think there is in college basketball, the toilet paper game. Central Baptist is a great matchup, and then your own classic playing Weber International and Florida College.
Yeah. I mean, the TP game is going to be so much fun. It's the 41st annual, I
Yeah.
believe. This year we celebrated the 40th last year. And then we jump right into, I mean, CBC, we played them last year and they ended up being an Elite 18. Made a great run through the tournament. We played both Weber and Florida last year down in Florida. Did not have a good showing down there. And so it's going to be great to have a chance to play both of those teams again. But again, two more tournament teams from last year. So 3 of our 4 non-conference games are against teams that made the national tournament last year. And we just feel like in order to get yourself ready for our conference, you've got to play some teams that are going to test you, and help reveal some things. Maybe you do well, you need to improve getting ready for the tournament or for the conference. And then we're ready to just jump right into Sooner play.
Well, let's talk about the Sooner this year. And Coach, you've been around, the Sooner for many, many years. This year, in my mind, and honestly, we've talked about this. We're arguably one of the best basketball conferences in America. Our league this year is top to bottom as good as we've seen in many, many years. And every Thursday night is going to be a rock fight between two outstanding teams.
Yeah, and I think the league just keeps kind of getting better and better, and it's not just. I mean, yes, we've been even a little top heavy. Langston's been incredible these last 2 years. Chris has done an amazing job there, but I think just the caliber of the rest of the league as well is just been really good. I mean, it's always competitive. I think for most teams in the league, you could say that like you can't. It's hard to have an off night and win. You've got to really be firing on all cylinders. I think you got to really be elite to have an off night and still find a way to come up with a victory.
And Drew, for you, so many great players in the Sooner, some of the best players in the country, not only just nationwide, but here in the Sooner. How much is fun for you is it to play some incredible talent, compete at such a high level, night in and night out in conference play?
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, playing good teams makes your team better. So I think every night we get better playing these teams. But then kind of like Coach said, every single night you got to bring it or else you might drop one. So it's awesome.
And you get a chance to play in Bill George Arena. What a terrific facility. I've had a chance to come down and be in the facility. I mean, Salem Springs gravitates towards John Brown University. How much fun is it to have that community support, the support of your peers at school? It's just got to be fun in that atmosphere to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. We got probably one of the best arenas in the conference, which I mean gives players confidence and players wanting to come here and play. But it also gives the crowd wanting to get into the game more and come to games. So it's awesome. It's good.
And some of that, Jim, is just because the guys that we have, as soon as like their peers get to know them, the faculty and staff here, the town, people want to support these guys. I mean, they're incredible. They're incredible men that are about the right things. They're the kind of people that you want, like I want my kids around. And that's an awesome thing to be able to say.
Without a doubt, and I've seen the video. I watched you guys play on the live stream, and that atmosphere is just unbelievable. It makes it fun to play too. So, that's a lot of fun as well. I know it's a busy time. I appreciate you all taking a little bit of time with me so we get to know you guys, get to know what's going on with your program, and it's going to be a lot of fun to follow you guys throughout the year.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We head back down to John Brown University. We talked it over with Jason Beschta, their head coach, and also an outstanding student athlete and basketball player, Drew Miller. And Drew's a good one. You're going to have to watch him throughout the year. It's going to be a lot of fun. We want to thank everybody for a great day here in the Sooner Athletic Conference, previewing our men's basketball season. I want to thank all the coaches, the players, and also the sports information directors for all their help in putting this together. Thanks so much for tuning in, and it's going to be a great basketball season here in the Sooner.